I am Cindy Griesbaum. I am Ralph's wife. We were married for 37 years and known each other for 40 years. I was his high school sweetheart.
I'm Lacey Miller. I am Ralph's daughter.
Ralph was a wonderful man. He was very sweet. He was big in the community. He was out there to help anybody. There were just many, many things that Ralph was involved in. And
Daddy was always thinking about other people first. I remember as a kid, you know, we were always going to benefits, going to fish fries for the Lions Club, or a fish fry for a church, or a soup dinner for a church, or a spaghetti dinner for a church, or anything. And I always remember Dad saying, well, we're going to go out and eat anyway. We may as well be spending the money to help somebody else. Project Protein started right after Proposition B, but there was money left over. And so what can we do with this money for the greater good that still promotes agriculture, helps people in need, and people will see, you know, that this can, and so from that was born Project Protein. Basically what Project Protein did was it ensured we would find donations of animals for food banks, food pantries, and then Project Protein actually paid the processing on those animals. So we would get the animals donated, and typically that was fairly easy to find animals that possibly didn't meet the specs of the larger processing plants that could be processed at a more local, smaller level. But that processing is expensive and it costs money. And so we would find ways to raise money to pay for that processing, and then all of that money, almost always pork, but occasionally there was some beef, would be ground because the food pantries prefer the ground product. And we would pay the processing on that, and then we would facilitate through like the Central Missouri Food Bank, we would facilitate distributing that where it needed to go, whether it would be the Loaves and Fishes program in Hannibal, the Palmyra Food Pantry. I don't know how many food pantries it touched, but even the nutrition centers and some of the elderly connections there as well. And so that was kind of the birth of Project Protein. It was the definition of grassroots.
he would get on the telephone, and I mean, he would call anybody and everybody that he could think of that he knew would help donate a hog or hogs, more than one, donate their time, donate a facility that, you know, could be used. He would go get the hogs himself and load them up in the trailer, and there were many, many times I went with him, and we would be out at midnight unloading hogs in the dark, and, you know, because it was cooler or it was just convenient at that time for both the loader and the loadee to get them taken care of and get them to the butcher shop.
We don't know how Dad did it. He said it was going to happen, and it happened. Fed 1.4 million people, I guess. You know, as we look at these projects that Dad started in his life, and we look at the food pantry donations, we look at Project Protein, we look at all the things he started with Farm Bureau, the connections he made, the responsibility that he left with us now is humbling, is unsurmountable. My feet aren't big enough to fill those boots, and I don't look very good in a cowboy hat. So I'll leave that to him. But the determination I have now to fulfill the legacy he left, to not leave it where the tractor left it, is something I take very seriously. It's something I will never stop doing, because his legacy, his life was cut short, but his legacy will live forever.